Today we're taking a look at the Philadelphia 76ers vs Washington Wizards match, which is happening on Sunday, May 23, 2021, and giving you my betting tips and predictions in general on this game. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. And if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours and hours of your time searching the internet for some fake betting predictions and losing your money because of it. Join High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advices instantly. After being derailed by injuries and COVID in the early season, the Wizards have been one of the NBA's hottest teams since the All-Star break, and they destroyed the Pacers in an elimination game on Thursday. The Wizards have been in playoff mode for about a month now, as they had to win down the stretch to make the play-in tournament. They finished with the 8th seed and then lost to the Celtics in the first play-in game last Tuesday, 119-110. Then on Thursday they played 10th seeded Indiana and walloped them 142-115 to clinch the 8th seed. Bill led the Wizards with 25 points while Westbrook had 18 points and 15 assists. Rui Hachimura also had 18 points while Daniel Gafford chipped in with 15 points and 13 rebounds. Following a tight first quarter, the Wizards took control in the second quarter by outscoring Indiana 36-23, and they piled up another 48 points in the third before cruising in garbage time. Philadelphia finished the regular season with its best winning percentage since 2001 when it reached the NBA Finals, and will look to one-up that squad with a title. The Sixers ended the year at 49-23, best in the Eastern Conference. Embiid, a finalist for League MVP, had a monster season averaging 28.5 points and 10.6 rebounds per game. Tobias Harris averaged 19.5 points and 6.8 boards per game, while Simmons averaged 14.3 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 6.9 assists per game. The Sixers ranked 14th in points scored, 8th in shooting percentage, and 9th in rebounds per game. They were also 6th best in terms of fewest points allowed per game. The 76ers will have enjoyed a week off since it last played in an 11-point win over the Magic, as Philadelphia outscored Orlando 68-52 in the second half last Sunday despite resting its stars after clinching the number 1 seed 2 nights before. The Washington Wizards are not your typical 8th seed. They have 2 superstars in Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook, and while their record does look great, you have to factor in that they got off to a horrible start. Over the last 2 months of the season, they had one of the better records in the conference. The backcourt in Washington has been electric to the point where they should be respected against any opponent they face. They might have holes defensively, but they have a legitimate puncher's chance to knock teams out with their offense alone. Just ask the Indiana Pacers after they had 142 points dumped on their head on Thursday. There's no secret that the Wizards are vulnerable on defense. Philly should know better than anyone, considering they averaged 127 points in the 3 regular series meetings between the 2 teams. It's just too easy to hang points on this Washington team. They're handing out buckets like an all-you-can-eat buffet. The Wizards are going to have to find a way to crack Philly's number 2 ranked defense, while also keeping the human skyscraper, Joel Embiid, from wrecking the game. It's a daunting task for any team, much less one with as many defensive problems as Washington. The Wizards are also as healthy as they have been all season, with no key players out with injuries. The Sixers wrapped up the number 1 seed last weekend and got a week off for their efforts, a much-needed week off as they'd been dogged by nagging injuries. Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Danny Green, and Matisse Thybulle ended the season all nursing injuries or illnesses. The latter is Philly's foot in the door to the offensive promised land. They have to put up points to survive the madness. Even being the league's 6th ranked scoring defense, The Sixers are still going to run into problems defending Washington's lightning rod backcourt. However, they'll have plenty of opportunities to respond with some thunder to that lightning on offense. The Wizards couldn't stop a statue on the defensive end of the floor, and they are sure to bleed points throughout this game. Philly might not be able to completely pump the brakes on Washington's offensive firepower, but they have the defense to slow them down. One of the ways to do that is by forcing turnovers. The Sixers are forcing the second most turnovers per game in the league, while the Wizards have shown a tendency to play a bit too loose with the ball at times. But they will also be able to respond as well. Joel Embiid might need to conjure up his inner superstar to stave off the visiting Wizards. All are listed as questionable for Game 1, but I would be surprised not to see all of them on the floor Sunday, particularly Embiid and Simmons. My first betting advice for that game is to pick Philadelphia 76ers minus 7.5. Washington was much better against the spread in the regular season at 40-31-1 and only failed to cover in 2 of its last 8 games down the stretch. Overs are an even 36-36 for the Wizards after each of their final 3 regular season games went under the betting total. The Washington Wizards look for another win after beating the Pacers on Thursday in a play-in game. The Washington Wizards are averaging 116.6 points on 47.5% shooting and allowing 118.5 points on 47.1% shooting. Bradley Beal is averaging 31.3 points and 4.7 rebounds, while Russell Westbrook is averaging 22.2 points and 11.7 assists. Rui Hachimura is the third double-digit scorer and Davis Bertans is grabbing 2.9 rebounds. The Washington Wizards are shooting 35.1% from beyond the arc and 76.9% from the free throw line. The Washington Wizards are allowing 36.9% shooting from deep and are grabbing 45.2 rebounds per game. The Wizards are third in the NBA in scoring offense at 116.1 points per game, although they have not shot the ball particularly well at 53.3% from 2 and 35.1% from 3. Defense has been the issue, as Washington is last in scoring at 118.1 points per game allowed, with opponents shooting 52.9% from 2 and 36.9% from 3. Westbrook had a monster season statistically with an average of 22 points, 11.5 rebounds and 11.7 rebounds per game. Beal is one of the NBA's most prolific scorers with an average of 31.3 points per game on 48.5% shooting from the floor. Philadelphia enters the postseason with a solid 38-31-3 mark against the spread and covered in each of its last 2 games after hitting a bit of a rough patch. Overs are 34-38 for the 76ers, and their last 2 regular season games went over the betting total. The Philadelphia 76ers haven't played in a week and have won 10 of their last 12 games. The Philadelphia 76ers are averaging 113.6 points on 47.6% shooting and allowing 108.1 points on 45.3% shooting. Joel Embiid is averaging 28.5 points and 10.6 rebounds, while Tobias Harris is averaging 19.5 points and 3.5 assists. Ben Simmons is the third double-digit scorer and Shake Milton is dishing 3.1 assists. The Philadelphia 76ers are shooting 37.4% from beyond the arc and 76.7% from the free throw line. The 76ers are mid-pack with an average of 113.4 points per game on shooting splits of 53.1% from 2 and 37.4% from beyond the arc. Philadelphia owns one of the best defense in the NBA, allowing 108.1 points per game with opponents shooting 51% from 2 and 36% from 3, all of which are top 10 marks league-wide. Joel Embiid is likely headed for a second-place finish in MVP voting after averaging 28.5 points, 10.6 rebounds and 1.4 blocks per game on 51.3% shooting from the floor. Ben Simmons also had a huge season with 14.3 points, 7.2 rebounds and 6.9 assists per game on 55.7% shooting from the floor, and is a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. The Wizards are 8-1-1 ATS in their last 10 road games and 4-1 ATS in their last 5 Sunday games. The 76ers are 6-1-1 ATS in their last 8 home games and 8-3 ATS in their last 11 games as a favorite. The over is 5-1 in Wizards' last 6 road games. The over is 4-1 in 76ers' last 5 home games. The Wizards are 3-7 ATS in the last 10 meetings in Philadelphia and 5-2 ATS in the last 7 meetings. My second betting advice for that game is to pick over 229. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.